Tonight we're installing the Kartboy Short Shift adapter on this 2016 WRX gearbox, and this applies for WRX gearboxes from 2015 to what's currently out there, which I think is either a 2018 or 2019 model. And this piece replaces this counterweight here, and there is an accompanying piece that goes into the cable itself that goes over here. So there are a bunch of videos showing the whole install process, but most of them are from underneath the car. And since we had the gearbox out, we wanted to show you guys what it looks like with a full head-on view to give people a better idea of what they need to do. So there is a pin over here that we are gonna use a 3/16 inch punch to take out. And once that's knocked out, we can slide this off and then slide this piece on. Before we do that, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna loosen the bolts for this shield. And if you're working from below the car, you should at least be able to loosen this one. But if you have the right extensions, you may be able to loosen the top one as well. There are two more bolts back here, right at the output flange from the gearbox. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen those so that we can actually remove the cover. Now you can kind of see the whole counterweight assembly here that the cover is removed. And from our position, we can actually see the pin from up top, but we're gonna rotate it and hit it from the bottom, as that's the general way that most people do it when they're doing this type of install. So we're just gonna take our 3/16 punch and just line it up with the pin. And then we're gonna take a hammer and we're just gonna start tapping. And the best way to make sure this comes out smoothly is to line it up so it points straight at the pin. So we actually ended up switching to tapping from the top just because it was so much more convenient based on our position, but the pin will go either way. So all we're doing here now is just tapping this thing out until the pin comes all the way out. And our pin was a little finicky to start going. So I sprayed a little penetrant in there just to kind of get it started. And then after a few good taps to start it about a quarter of the way, it came out. So now that the pin is out, we should be able to just slide the weight off. So we're just gonna rotate it a bit, and then let's give it a couple taps. So just wanna, if you're putting any pressure on it, which if you're working from the bottom, you may use little pry bars or something, you just wanna do it evenly so it slides easily off the shaft. And now that it's out, there appears to have been, this is probably just from our penetrant, so it doesn't appear to be really any grease or lubricant, which is not necessary because the piece will not be moving. So what we'll do is we'll just wipe it down, and then we'll do a test fit on our Kartboy piece here, and you can see that goes on easily. And what I recommend is if you're working from the bottom of the car, you start the pin in the general position it's gonna go on your workbench. That way you can tap it in until it gets to the edge right before it interferes with this, which will make it easier to keep going, because it's probably almost impossible to line it up and start it in from underneath the car. So all that we're doing here is we're gonna line it up and then lightly start tapping it in. Okay. So you can see here, we have it lined up, but it's not protruding through the hole. So all that it's doing is it's just in the hole, so it's solid, but not protruding, so it doesn't prevent us from putting the piece on. And then once you put the piece on, you can kind of generally line it up to where it's supposed to go, and then just start tapping some more. And if you're in the general area, once it comes through, it should start to self-locate, because it either won't budge or won't have any place to go. So you can see here how that just self-located, and we know we're in the right spot because it's moving the rod. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna continue tapping this in until it's flush, just like it was originally. This lip and the one on the bottom, once you get close to the edge, what you may wanna do is just get a slightly bigger tap, just so you're not marring the short shifter with, or the little adapter with your hammer. And once it's tapped in, it'll be evenly into both sides. There won't be anything sticking out. And then if you've removed the cover, the next step is just to mount the cover back up and then get your cable and hook up your cable, which we'll do once we put the gearbox in the car. Hopefully that helps some people get a better view of kind of what you're dealing with here. And you can kind of refer to the other install videos to see the whole process, but this was more of just a detailed look of what's going on right here.